Hope everyone is having a legendary week so far. We're gonna go ahead and get into quarterbacks today. And Jason and I were just talking in the pre-show meeting. We've done this show before, but so nothing's changed. But before we get started, we like to remind everybody to go to twitch.tv/Niner Faithful Radio to join us for all the live streams of all our shows. For the Faithful by the Faithful pre-launch sale is coming July 30th. Save 20% off of all our designs. Go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop for more details. Go to SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code NinerFaithfulRadio to save on all your concert, theater, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out this show. Get your officially licensed Niner gear by using our affiliate link that will be available in the description. It costs you no more and really does help out the show. And go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com to check out all of our previous episodes of all our shows. And you can follow the show on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio, and on Twitter at Niner Faithful R. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the show started. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Was crack-a-lacking, booty smacking. Ooh, we got 3 viewers already. I like that. All right, so first, I think that we have
What's cracking, everybody?
What's crack-a-lacking? We got to know, just to let everybody know, sun's out, guns out. You know what I'm saying? Nice, beautiful day. So, Richard Sherman, Jamie will obviously probably be going over all these details on Friday on Good Morning Niner Empire. But he has released a statement. He was charged with no felonies. As somebody, Jason, you listened to the 911 call and saw the video, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna get into it too much, but I like to say before anybody passes judgment, I'd like to say first of all, Sherman was manned up. You feel me? And I can't judge him because guess what? That was me on my 29th birthday when I beat the shit out of a security guard. You know what I'm saying? And ended up in jail with a felony. I mean, so I can't pass judgment. I've hit a bottle too hard, and obviously,
been there than that.
Yeah, exactly. And when I drink, I can get a bit aggressive. So I'm not gonna pass judgment on a man. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? That's why your boy don't drink that often, or at least not that much. Because you grow up, you mature, and you learn your lesson. So you know what? Sherman's gonna grow up, he's gonna mature, and he's gonna learn his lesson. And having been somebody that's drinking a beer with Richard Sherman's parents, and I saw his tail, and one of the nicest ladies and everything like that. Let's be real. When we first heard the news and you saw domestic violence, I think that's what made it so. I mean, say what you want about his persona on the field. Off the field, I've heard nothing but the man's smart. I mean, was third in his class in high school.
Yep.
So, prayers go to Richard Sherman. It looks like he is going to get the help that he I would expect maybe not to see something from Richard Sherman this year. Sounds like he needs a year off to get his life in order. And but I am pretty sure that we are not hearing the last of Richard Sherman. Matter of fact, I know for a fact that we have not heard the last from Richard Sherman. And once this all clears the way, if it's clear that no team's going to sign him on his roster, we're going to see Richard Sherman in a booth or in a studio sometime next fall.
I don't think so.
No?
No, I think he's going to end. Like I said, I think he's going to be more destined for an office type job, like with the
Oh,
players' union or something along those lines.
I would totally get it. Or even, Agent Sherm. How about that? I could possibly
And he
see
did do
that.
his own contract, so I mean that's cause.
So,
Yeah, like I said, I don't see him coaching per se, but I think his role, especially with how smart the guy is, he
yeah.
needs to be up in like the higher end, because he's fought for player rights and this and that countless times. So I think that's where he ends up personally.
Richard Sherman is going to have a career in football. I know a lot of
Yeah,
people have said coach. A lot of hope. I remember being, when I was a kid, my whole thing was I wanted the Niners to hire Jerry Rice as a receiver coach. You know, just I just to the life of me never understood why they didn't. When I was a kid, why they didn't hire Dwight Clark or somebody as a position coach. And you feel like when you've made the money that Sherman's made in his career, you don't generally do it because the hours suck and you don't need the money.
yeah,
And
the
so
hours are horrible as a coach,
yeah,
man.
you you really have to love it. You really do have to love it. And it's one of those things that, yeah, the hours suck. It's a grunt work, especially if you're starting off at the bottom. Now, I don't think Richard Sherman would start off as a
No,
quality control. I would say Richard Sherman would at least be assistant, you know, position
DB
coach or
coach.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah. But Sherman's definitely going. We have not heard the last of Richard Sherman, and I have full confidence that he will make it. He'll make a full recovery. And let's be real, Sherman ain't about to do no jail time. He'll pay a fine. He'll seek counseling. The judge is going to say, "Hey, you suck. You sought counseling. You're in AA or all that type of stuff," and slap him with the whatever the maximum fine is, and we'll move on.
no.
Anyway,
And put it this way,
so
you know what? To all the people who automatically assume that he beat his wife, fuck off. I hate
yeah, ser-
instantly. Everybody's like, I always knew he was a wife beater. Screw off. They label everything. This was a family dispute. He didn't just go beat on his wife. I wanted to punch all them people.
yeah,
It's just like instantly he was. Oh, I've always known. Fuck off. Sorry, excuse my language, but that shit got me going.
Jason, you'll be obviously living in Washington. You'll know a little bit more about Washington state law, but from what I understood, is the domestic violence component that was added to the charges was specifically because it was a family dispute.
Yeah,
And
you
that's
can
what it
fight
was.
your
It had
dad,
nothing.
your
Yeah.
sister. It's definitely because the stigma automatically domestic violence is you've automatically beating your significant other, but it doesn't even have to be that. It could be like I said, you could fight your dad, your mom, but instantly everybody's like, oh, he's beating his wife. I always knew it, and
I
that came from
mean,
both. Granted, yes, I live up here in the Pacific Northwest, so there was that, but I was hearing that from Niner fans too. So I
you
hate that
know,
stigma.
from what I've always heard is that you know, well, I always heard the Chicago fans hate him. You know,
It's a love hate.
now, I think that it's probably I put it the equivalent with Navarro Bowman. I saw people who swore off on
Bowman.
Navarro Bowman. Yeah, when he signed with the Raiders, oh yeah, and he had put
Oh,
out
okay.
that he
No.
had always wanted to be a Raider. Bro, I know people that swore off Navarro Bowman. And those are the same people damn near in tears when he came back and signed the contract and officially retired as a Niner. So
Yeah.
anyway, moving on to quarterbacks, I think that it's look. We're not going to bury the lead here, but I do want to start with the less obvious thing to start with, and that's the number three, and really where I believe the biggest battle in training camp will be, and that is the backup or the number three quarterback / practice squad / three
I'm
quarterback,
not going to
however
ever play
you
him
view it.
today.
Yeah, we pray to God that he never suits up in a Niner jersey this year. But obviously, it's between Nate Sherfield and Josh Rosen. I have came on the podcast before and said we hope that it never matters. I mean, that's very clear. But I would say that worst case scenario, if our number 3 quarterback is, on the field, I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are going with Nate Sheffield, but I want to go Josh Rosen. And I'm not one of the people that believes that Josh Rosen is secretly the best quarterback on the Niners roster and that he should start over Trey Lance and Jimmy. I'm not one of those people. But to me, I say in the worst case, shit went horribly wrong scenario that we're seeing our number 3 quarterback on the field. I'm sorry, I'd rather go with Josh Rosen and see what we have. And I'm not saying that he's got experience and he's got the pedigree. So what can we get out this quarterback in pedigree that, was available? Even if it's a 7th round pick, I'm okay with that. Yeah. If you're telling me that we can start Josh Rosen and he won't, he won't even see the field this year, then it doesn't matter. But in a worst case, which we have to prepare for, we have to prepare for that. Say, hey, at least there's a chance. At least you can say, look, we got some pedigree here to say that there might be something here. Now, I'm not saying, it's still Super Bowl or bust. No. But, can we win some ball games and maybe trade Josh Rosen for a 7th round pick if, we win 7-8 games? I think so. Sorry, y'all. I had dry throat. I think so. And I'm sorry. I'd rather see that trot out for any extended period of time if the worst case scenario happens than Trent Sherfield. Jason, your thoughts on the number 3 quarterback?
I'm going to agree with you. If you had to push me to choose one, I would choose Rosen right now just because he's had some experience. I mean, but the only experience Sudfeld has is coming in for the Eagles last year.
In that tank game.
Yeah, basically in a gimme game. And at that point, you knew the Eagles were giving the division to Washington because they didn't want the Cowboys to go. I mean, that's the way that felt. So, but Josh Rosen, he was still a number 10 pick. He came out with, there's a reason why he was picked that high. I think if any other coach, if they had stayed, or I can't think of his name off the top of my head. I'm drawing a blank. The Cardinals coach, they hadn't done that coach.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Kingsbury.
Oh,
had they not gone to him, if they had not made the switch to him,
Josh Rosen would be their quarterback.
Yeah, Rosen is still there, but for some reason he fell in love with Kyler Murray, and they felt like they had to make that draft pick. So, but like I said, and when you look at their game tape, Rosen just looks good, and each spot that he's gone to, whether it has been Miami or Arizona, I don't really count the Bucs because he was practice squad the entire year. He was not given it. I mean, they basically told him halfway through the season in his rookie year, like, hey, we're going to draft Kyler Murray or somebody else, so you're playing for somebody else. And then when he got to Miami, they basically said, hey, we're going to tank and you're going to be gone next season. So, I mean, I wouldn't even know
football teams.
Horrible football teams.
Really bad football teams.
Yeah, so I mean, I've never understood why we signed Sudfeld if we were going to keep Rosen. One or the other, okay. But why both? We could have kept Josh and just gone from there, or picked up somebody else off. But I don't understand why.
Nate Sheffield was strictly Rich Scangarello brought him in because he had worked with him in Philadelphia. That's why. I mean, to me, it's look. I'm pretty sure, Rosen's not chosen Rosen, but one thing always sticks with me is that Ronnie Lott in an interview talked one time about how he was with Bill Walsh and they were watching film of Joe Montana, and Ronnie Lott said that Bill Walsh was just amazed by Joe Montana's footwork. And he was like, just Ronnie, look at his feet. And he was just, and you hear Steve Young. Obviously, Steve Young was asked his opinion a lot about quarterbacks, and obviously his time with Mike Shanahan a lot this year because of us choosing a quarterback. And Steve Young talked about how Kyle's dad, was always on Steve, footwork. And that's the one thing I remember about Josh Rosen. Him, people saying how he was a tennis player helped him have amazing footwork.
Yeah,
And
side to side
so
movement in the pocket.
yeah, and movement in the pocket and everything like that. So look, I'm not saying that clearly, we hope Josh Rosen never enters the field at all this season. But I think that we have to prepare for that because, and now, not to bury the league too many times, getting into Jimmy versus Trey. This is the reason why I said the third string quarterback was the Brewers' biggest battle because to me there is no quarterback battle. And when I say there's not, Jimmy Garoppolo starts. I think it's very clear. There's no scenario where Trey Lance is the better quarterback in the preseason and at practice, more specifically practice, that he does not start the season. I'm sorry, Trey Lance. It has nothing to. Jimmy could light the world on fire, but if Trey Lance proves that he's ready, Trey Lance is going to start. And I don't think that's going to happen. I do think that, right, I do believe, of course, overall, Trey Lance is going to be the better quarterback in his career. I don't even think that should be a question. But if you go back to, after all the excitement and thank God it wasn't Mac Jones and the, post-pick Blunt and all that, and Jason and I started to actually analyze the pick of Trey Lance. He said, when does Trey Lance start? And I said, not until he proves that Jimmy Garoppolo, he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Yeah, 2020 wasn't that great for Jimmy. It wasn't. But, the last time we seen a full, healthy Jimmy Garoppolo, it wasn't the Super Bowl. And, yeah, okay, he didn't play the world's greatest game, but I'm not expecting Jimmy just to let Trey take the job. And he has to prove it. And you know what? If Jimmy Garoppolo isn't going to go out there and fight for his life and fight for his career, then I don't even want Jimmy on the team. Straight up. Because that means if you're not competitive enough to go out there and beat out a rookie that played 17 college games at a Division II school, and you're not willing to go out there and fight for your job, then you know what, Jimmy? I don't even want you on the team. I'm actually disappointed in you. Because I believe in Jimmy Garoppolo. I do believe Jimmy Garoppolo can take us to the promised land. I'm not in denial. Of course, Trey Lance is the future.
Do we want to finish Peterson and Sudfeld, Sudfeld and Rosen, or just jump into Jimmy?
Yeah, let's just jump into Jimmy. That's pretty much all there is to say.
I can tell you, I seen the blood pressure going on you, and you were about to go on a rant. And I was like,
"Oh yeah, it was coming. It was coming. It's coming." But no, so I mean, yeah, my Jimmy rants because Jimmy does take a lot of shit. But anyway, but I think that look, when Jimmy didn't come back last year, I think that sealed Jimmy Garoppolo's fate. I think that the Yams aren't interested in Matthew Stafford this year, which, I mean, obviously they're going to be. But, Matthew Stafford doesn't come to the Niners this year. Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo's not on this team anymore. Matt Stafford's in red and gold. I believe that. I fully believe that, which even me being a Jimmy fan, of course, even I'm going to admit that Matthew Stafford's an upgrade at quarterback over Jimmy Garoppolo.
See, I don't believe that.
I mean, as far as talent is, as far talent, maybe better arm, all that. But to me, maybe I'm scarred from the decade of darkness, the Sean Hill, JT O'Sullivan, Cody Pickett, whatever days. Jason and I are kind of scarred from that, but I don't want to just throw away a quarterback that is what I wouldn't even know the record right now. But is a better
Jimmy?
quarterback than we've had in a long time. Yeah, as a starter.
He's like 27-8 as a starter.
Yeah, something like that.
It's
So
a good record. It's an awesome record. But then
I'll
how
put
many
it-
games has he missed? And
True.
there lies the
And-
problem.
And what did I say? And when we did our wrap up show at the end of the season, I looked at you and I looked at Jamie, and I said, "Do we need to upgrade the quarterback room?" Yes. Can Jimmy Garoppolo clearly be the best quarterback on the roster? No. We cannot go forward with Jimmy Garoppolo being the no and just hey whatever as our backups. No, we can't.
Yeah.
And they say, yeah, if you need a better backup, then you need a better starter, right? That's the age-old saying. If you need a better backup quarterback, you need a better starter. And yeah, I don't believe that it's a coincidence that Kyle on a lot of people point to him in the last presser before the draft saying we need a starting quarterback. I don't believe that was coincidence because of how often he said it. If it was one off, he just said it one time, then I wouldn't think that. But I think that he was purposely saying. Now, do I believe that he believes that Jimmy Garoppolo is not a starting quarterback? No. So we're gonna ignore that comment, bro. It's spam.
It's a bot. It's a bot.
Yeah, it's a bot. Sorry about that, y'all. But Jimmy can start with us, but no, you're not a starting caliber quarterback if you're not dependable on the field.
No.
And I don't like to get into the contract aspect of it, but no, I'm not trying to pay Jimmy Garoppolo $25 million to be on the bench. I'm not. When you can give a rookie deal, mind you, yeah, on the 3rd overall pick, but still a rookie deal. That just the one thing, and I know you and I were discussing Grant Cohn before the show, but the one thing that I will agree with him is that if the Niners trade Jimmy Garoppolo, I feel that we could put a better team around Trey Lance. Because could you say, would the Niners be better starting Jimmy? The only idea I get from trading Jimmy before Trey's ready is you say, can the Niners put a better team around Trey Lance, spending that $27 million, let's say, on Justin Houston, maybe trading for Gilmore and whatever, just a free agent X, than having Jimmy on $27 million. Yeah, I do believe the Niners as a football team would be better with Jimmy Garoppolo off the team because you would be able to build a better team around Trey Lance with that $27 million going to three players, for example. But
which is
I'm
why
not
I think that's
because regardless of what
people cried for Jimmy to restructure his contract. Jimmy restructures his contract, we get another free agent or two.
Yeah. True. But then do you want that commitment going into next year? Are you willing to keep a commitment to Jimmy next year? Because if he restructures his contract, he's not going anywhere next year.
Oh, it's too late now. I think he needed to do it last year. If he had restructured last year going into this year and everything, we probably don't I don't think we make the trade up to 3. We might trade somebody or might have picked somebody at 12 like Mac Jones, Kellen Mond, maybe or somebody later. But because that frees up some of that money for those free agents and re-signings and stuff. But one of the biggest issues not only is the injuries, how much money he's making not playing because of the injuries.
Yeah, so, exactly. And so, to me, that's what I was talking about, upgrading the quarterback room, which the Niners have done. And so, am I comfortable with the football team, Jimmy Garoppolo, making $25 million and saying, hey, we got the future quarterback waiting in the rings if Jimmy gets injured? And look, this whole argument on whether Jimmy or Trey should start probably is going to be a moot point because if we are now looking at Jimmy Garoppolo over the last 5 games of 2017, 3 games of 28, really all of 2018, but only playing 3 games, 2019 and 2020. Well, if you say the outlier is 2019, if you say he only played 5 games in 2017, which obviously that wasn't because of injury. Okay, he only played 3 games in 2018. 2019, he played 19 games, and then he played, 8 games last year? So the outlier is 2020. So if you're a betting man, you would say the odds are whoever starts really doesn't matter because Trey Lance is getting on the field regardless. because Trey Lance is going to be the backup quarterback. That's going
And
to
he was hurt after a game and a half in 2016 when he replaced Brady for the suspension thing.
yeah, exactly.
So he didn't even make it through that. So it's always been an issue for him.
Always been an issue, and so fine. Now, okay, so then let me ask you this, Jason. Let me ask you this. Excluding, obviously drafting Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Jackson or any of that, okay? If you could go into the past, it's now October 30th. Bill Belichick is about to call Kyle Shanahan to say, hey, we got Jimmy Garoppolo for you for a second-round pick. Do you still make that trade?
Today?
Or if you could go back and tell Kyle, hey, I'm from the future.
Before they make that trade?
Yeah. If you could go back and tell Kyle.
Yeah.
I would too. I would too, because
we don't get Trey Lance, but that gives us a high end first still. We're still picking at number 12. And there was a litany of people we could have gotten at 12 that would have improved this team. And the back end of the second, third round of quarterbacks that we thought were going and then didn't really leave a whole lot, there was still a bunch of people left in the second round we could have traded or we could have picked with that second pick. And we still had another pick. We could have picked up somebody else as well. So, I mean, instantly, I still would have taken that.
And so I think that really what it was is now that we can look at hindsight on the Jimmy Garoppolo situation, really ideally what it was we had to sign him to the contract we did. We had to, because you're trading for him. Yeah. And so to me, I think that I'm not going to say that the plan was, by 2021 we would be looking for another quarterback or anything like that. But I think the plan all along has been to keep as flexible as possible. I think the team didn't want to restructure because they didn't want to give commitment to Jimmy. They wanted to keep the options open because, I don't know, maybe the day before the draft, the league MVP might be available.
Could be.
And so,
speaking of, he's still available. You heard about what the Packers did 2 weeks ago, right?
Nah. Oh, yeah, they offered him the contract extension, and then he turned it down.
He is not happy right now.
He's not. It's not money. It's
definitely not money.
It's not commitment. It's the fact is that, let's be real. You know what Aaron Rodgers has done? Aaron Rodgers is looking at the tail end of his peak, right? Like I still think that he's going to be at a high level, but he's getting close to that edge, and he's starting to see the decline. Okay, it's coming soon. And he's watched Tom Brady, and he's watched Drew Brees, and he's watched some of these quarterbacks, and he's watched all the the MVPs he's won, and how some good Packer teams that they've had over the years, and he sees that one Super Bowl. And he says that, you know what? My legacy is always going to be that quarterback that only won one. Right? Which is great. I would kill for the Niners to have a quarterback, in Aaron Rodgers' career that would only have one Super Bowl. I would kill for that. But Aaron Rodgers, let's be real, he's a better quarterback than one. Aaron Rodgers should have more than one championship. He's a good enough quarterback that he should have one.
He should at least have 3. I can think of 3. I can think of 2 other seasons where they were the best team by far, and he still failed.
Yeah. For whatever the defense let him down, whatever situations, and so he is not happy that they went and drafted Jordan Love. And the thing about it is, and this is where the Packers fucked up. I don't care that you pissed off Aaron Rodgers. Okay, because what does a pissed off Aaron Rodgers get you? A freaking MVP and an NFC Championship game appearance.
Yeah.
The problem is you drafted Jordan Love, who, for all rumors coming out of Green Bay, from what I heard, he ain't that damn good.
No.
That he ain't that damn good. And so that, you know what? And so that, you might have been better off picking a receiver to get, some better help and Aaron Rodgers some help and everything like that. I think That's what's going to pack. I've said two things. I said the two, big bad bullies of you could say my adult life have been the Patriots and the Whackers, right? And I don't believe the Patriots. I don't believe the Patriots will. The Patriots won't win another championship without Brady, because I believe Robert Kraft was not willing to do what Eddie D did, which is ultimately what I think it wouldn't have mattered, because I think the Niners still would have won a fifth championship, but it kept us competing after '94. Was Eddie D was willing to move on from Joe, right? And we all know Eddie D. Joe was like a son to Eddie D. That was the type of deal. That was the type of trade that Eddie had to okay. You weren't just going to trade Joe Montana without Eddie D's approval. And Robert Kraft wasn't willing to move on from Brady.
Let's be real. The staff was ready to move on. They were ready to go to Garoppolo.
They were. Let's be real. When John Lynch called and asked about Tom Brady should have been traded to the Niners. Football decision wise. Now, okay, maybe not in 2017. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not during, because they did end up winning a championship. But Jimmy Garoppolo should be playing for the Patriots.
Yeah.
Now, fine. Whether you say that was the right mistake or whatever, because from what I heard, the fans didn't love Jimmy. It was the Patriots that loved Jimmy. The fans thought he was made out of glass.
Well,
and so,
they might be right.
They kind of might be. You know what, though? I'll give Jimmy this. And this is my thing about Jimmy is he's injury. I don't want to say injury prone, because to me, injury prone says if he tears his ACL again, it's probably torn. If he fucks up his ankle again this year, it's probably injury torn. If he constantly keeps on hurting his shoulder, i.e. Alex Smith, that's probably 10 to injury prone. Let's break down Jimmy's injuries with the Niners. Okay, 2018 is basically thinking he's Colin Kaepernick and running the ball and getting smacked, right? Okay.
I don't think that, man. I think he was just fighting, trying to prove he was the leader of the team. I think that was
he wasn't
exactly running by that cab.
No. And you know what? Honestly, and I hate this, and I hate people say this, because what happens? The Niners end up losing to the point. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. If that offensive pass interference doesn't get called on Juice, the Niners are only down by 3. That ball game gets a little bit, so let's not pretend Jimmy got hurt in a blowout game. You know what I believe Jimmy was? I'm the quarterback. I'm believing this team's going to come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a lot of, so it wasn't, it was a lot different than a lot of, the history will tell you. History will tell you, the Niners were getting blown out. They ended up losing the game by 10, blah, 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 blah. But, hey, there was a chance for us to come back in that game. Let's not pretend like it wasn't possible. Okay? And then you get 2020. What does he happen? He gets sandwiched behind, his leg gets, caught between, I believe it was Quentin Nelson, wasn't it? Which I believe that a couple people were calling for a little roughing the passer there. And thought it wasn't that. And you know what? Guess what? What did we find out about the 2020 offensive line? Weren't that great at pass blocking. Maybe any quarterback might have got hurt under that 2020 line, right?
Well,
and so, exactly. So, and also it's, we don't want to use excuses and everything, but, something tells me, I seem to remember that Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't the only player that got hurt on that MetLife turf. Raheem did. We obviously know what happened to Nick Bosa. We obviously know what happened to Solomon Thomas within 3 plays. Raheem Mostert sprained his MCL. And so I think it's more of an issue of Jimmy not being able to move and taking hits than it is Jimmy being injury prone. Hey, look, you hit any quarterback enough time, they're going to get hurt. And so do I think that Jimmy's made out of glass? No. I just think that Jimmy's taken unnecessary hits. I shouldn't say unnecessary, but Jimmy's taken a lot of hits that, okay, maybe he doesn't have the body to sustain that. which
And to be fair with him, last year he was rushed back. He should not have come back
yes,
as
he
early
was. Mhm.
because we had the season in a balance kind of a thing going on, and
Yes,
it was obvious that Mullins and Beathard were not going to be able to take over, and so they're like,
yeah,
"Look, we need you to come out
yeah,
here, and
yeah.
we need you
Save
to
the
heal
season,
and
Jimmy.
play." Yeah, and
Yeah,
it just and I can remember watching him throw whenever what game it was that he came back in, and you could just tell it wasn't
Miami
ready. Was it
was
Miami?
there. Yeah,
Yeah, it was,
yeah.
and you could tell he could get no pressure off that back foot. He just
Look
couldn't
at
do
that
it.
last. Look at the pass the pick that he threw towards the end of the first half, which Shanahan said that basically when he made the decision to bench him, it
Yeah,
was a pick right before halftime, I believe, and that's what Shanahan said that he had already made the decision that he was going to go with C.J. Beathard uh, in that game. And see, you had to because think about it. So we're going into that Dolphins game 2-2, right? Okay, we're going into that Dolphins game 2-2. We clearly saw after the fiasco of Philadelphia the week before, which let's be real, Nick Mullins cost us that game, right? Okay, Nick Mullins, which I will give him credit because
and the
McGlinchey didn't give
defense.
up the pitcher and the defense. True, I said don't give up a fourth quarter 10-point fourth quarter lead, but
I was saying
you
we
know,
shouldn't. Carson Wentz should not be running around like he's Kaepernick.
yeah. So okay, I will say there are many. Not to get back into tweet, there were many reasons we lost that game.
Yeah,
The main one of the main factors being Nick Mullins. So you're the starting quarterback of the team. Hey, guess what? You're the starter. You need to get your ass back out there and save the season. Because in week 4, going into that Dolphin game, the revenge tour was still on. There was nothing to think that the playoffs were at least a possibility, right?
yeah. The wheels hadn't
Like,
fallen off.
going to, yeah, it hadn't fallen off the rails yet. And so, hey, Jimmy, go out there and save the season. Fine, doesn't look that great against, Dolphins, gets benched, comes against the Yams, looks okay, comes in against the Patriots, you know, looks fine. And then, of course, as we all know, the debacle at the Clink. And so Jimmy Garoppolo is a good quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo can win you a Super Bowl. Do things need to go right for Jimmy Garoppolo to win you a Super Bowl? Yes. Can Jimmy Garoppolo win the Super Bowl game by himself? Yes, I believe that. I believe that if you need Jimmy Garoppolo in the Super Bowl to go in a shootout, I believe he can win you that one game. I do. Like the New Orleans game. So let's say the Super Bowl this year ends up being the New Orleans game. Can Jimmy win that game? Yeah. We've seen him do
Jimmy
it.
didn't win that game though.
The New Orleans game?
No,
I'm not saying that he won the game, but Jimmy had a big factor in that, bro. Jimmy had a
I'll
big
give
factor in
it.
it.
You take a look. Kittle went how many yards?
True. Look, I'm not going to deny that.
He
I'm
should
not
have
going to deny
never
that.
thrown. Honestly, that ball should not have been thrown to Kittle.
It shouldn't have.
That you knew you needed 8 yards and you went with 1. Kittle turned that into what it was.
Yeah, no. Look,
That
I
goes back
fully
to
believe that. I'll fully believe that. That play was George Kittle. Yes.
all.
By all be that play was George Kittle. That was, and you know what? Let's be real. It was luck because everybody stadium knew who the ball was going to. I mean, you know, and so fine. But I'm saying that can Jimmy win a game like that? Yeah. But can Jimmy drag you kicking and screaming to the Super Bowl championship? No. If Aaron Rodgers can't do it with the Packers, then what makes you think Jimmy Garoppolo could do it with the Niners? You know,
You got Rodgers and Wilson doing it year after year, getting their teams in the Super Bowl, but then when they reach teams that are of the same talent overall, they fail.
and so I guess, well, we got about 20 minutes to kill here and everything like that, but let's go and happen. Jason, if and when does Trey Lance start this year?
Hopefully, doesn't.
Does he get in?
Oh, he's going to play. He is definitely
okay.
going. He will definitely play, but minus a huge debacle from Jimmy to where he's throwing interceptions left and right and this and that. I don't like we talked about before. He has to flat out beat Jimmy. Like there is no because if whether one of the big things I hate is that people just absolutely hate Jimmy and that he can't do it himself. So right now, this is the way I see it. Right now, especially in 2019, you have a team that was a Ferrari.
Yeah.
And we had a decent driver. And all we had to do was have somebody steer the team. That's all we had to do.
Yeah.
They just steer the team. But you also have guys in, like say Wilson and Rogers. These guys are the top of the line F1 NASCAR series drivers, and they can take a medium beat up car and beat you with it. Yeah. What do you want? You want the top roster or do you want the star? And I think Jimmy's, with the way this team was built, especially in 2019 and going into again this year, we have the roster to build, and we just need someone to steer it.
I think if not to cut you off, Jason, but I think if you look how the team was built and how Jimmy's contract was signed, is that they took the brunt of that contract in 2018 and 2019 and said, hey, we're going to take the big cap hits in 2018 and 2019 when we don't expect the team to compete, or at least, not to the level we ended up doing. They did not expect us to go 8-0 in 2019.
No, we got off. That was
random. Yeah. They Kyle Shanahan did not expect that we would have the best team in football in 2019. And so we'll take the brunt of it. And then you would hope by 2021, by 2020, 2021, 2022, that Jimmy would have developed enough that he could either be the quarterback that could drag you to a Super Bowl or, whatever, or we would draft sign his replacement and be able to have the flexibility to get out of it. And so I think that if Trey Lance goes out there day one of camp and proves that he's a better, that I plan on attending, at least the first open training camp, and goes out and proves that he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo, and it will happen in practice. It will not happen in preseason. Kyle Shanahan has always said that he takes more out of practice than preseason games.
Yeah.
Especially
when it comes to starters.
Exactly. Especially the quarterback position. It's cool. Awesome. I just don't think that's going to happen. And no, honestly, I think that it's almost unfair to Trey Lance to think that he can come in and be what everybody expects him to be. And it's just not going to happen.
Which is why I want Jimmy to be around for a year.
Exactly. It's just, I'm sorry. You know what? Guess what? There's no Aaron Donald. There's no Jalen Ramsey at North Dakota State, in Division II football. There's no Jalen Ramsey. I'm sorry. There's just not. You don't have Bobby Wagner. You don't have, Leonard Floyd. Even players he's going to practice against like Fred Warner and Dre Greenlow.
Yep.
And so I believe that, look, the earliest I would think of even possibly starting Trey Lance, unless, of course, disaster scenario, is after the bye. That's the closest I would think.
Yeah, just because the 2 weeks.
You can't. I'm sorry. I believe Trey Lance is a quick study. Do I believe it'll take the full season for him to be ready? No. I believe that there'll be a point in time and during the season that Trey Lance will be ready, but it's, well, how is Jimmy playing? If we're 9-1 and in legit favorites to win the number 1 seed, you're not taking Jimmy out. And Jimmy's playing well. And we're not 9-1 despite Jimmy Garoppolo. I should say that. If we're 9-1 despite Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance is ready, Trey's getting in. But if it's very similar to 2019, where hey, we're not there because of Jimmy, but Jimmy hasn't prevented us from getting there. And hey, even give Jimmy one or two games that you could say that hey, we had to put the on the final drive, we had to say, hey Jimmy, go win this for us, go put a drive together. Then yeah, no, Trey Lance is not coming in. So I believe Trey Lance will be ready before the end of the season. Just my idea, my thoughts of going into training camp before I've even seen Trey Lance take a snap in practice is that Jimmy Garoppolo will be playing well enough that it will be a moot point. It's either Jimmy's not going to be healthy. I don't think it'll be play. I think it'll either Jimmy will get hurt and Trey will start, or Jimmy's going to play well and Trey's not. You can't mess with that.
And I've seen reports to where there's both. Jimmy is both playing out of his mind right now, and I've also heard that Trey Lance is learning faster than anybody else thought was even possible. So right now, if that's the way it's going, that's the perfect scenario. I'm okay with this going into the season if that's the way it is.
Yeah. I mean, because who's that best for, Jason? That's best for the San Francisco 49ers.
Yep.
Right? And that's ultimately what we want. We want the best scenario for the San Francisco 49ers. And if you can tell me that it ends up being that the Niners have a top 5 to top 10, even top 15 quarterback room in the NFL, and one of those quarterbacks is on a rookie deal, man, shoot that shit. Shoot it to me.
If Trey is half as good as they're saying, the longer he just sits there, the better it is.
And so, to me, ultimately, and it's to me, look, Jaquiski Tartt, K1 Williams, DJ Jones, a lot of these players who signed on 1-year contracts didn't come to this team to help a rookie along. They didn't come to this team to, help a rookie go through growing pains. They came to this team to compete for a championship. And so for all those freaking fan casts who live 3,000 miles away and were in their daddy's nutsacks when we were a dynasty, they're saying it's not a Super Bowl bust year. Man, especially at a certain network that we will not mention because we are never a freaking nation. It's a Super Bowl bust year. And so, yeah, no, Jason Verrett ain't trying to go through Trey Lance's growing pains. You know what I'm saying? And so,
not unless you can guarantee a Super Bowl in the next 3 years. That'd be like, look, he's so good that we're going to win a Super Bowl in 3 years. Okay, I'd be sticking around for that, but nothing is guaranteed.
Okay. Cool. Okay, fine. So then future Jason and TJ come to us on the podcast right now and say, hey, look, Niners aren't winning the Super Bowl in 2021. Then what would you think the best? And Jimmy's not going to increase his trade value. Then yeah, the best scenario for the Niners is to Trey Lance this year. But we're not having. Do you still disagree?
I do.
I would say that, but I don't think that's going to happen because I don't see a scenario.
He hasn't played football in almost 2 years. He played one game last year.
Yeah, no.
And I don't think this isn't basketball where you just pick up a ball and start dribbling and you've got 3/4 of the game.
No.
You know what I mean? So I don't nobody hate me because that's the end of the basketball thing. It's just football there's so many more parts going on that it's just you can't just pick it up and go.
Oh no, I'm not starting Trey Lance week 1. I'm talking about starting later in the season. If you told me that Jimmy's not going to increase his, yeah.
Okay, now if we're talking like maybe after the bye or week 10.
Yeah. No, Trey Lance is not starting week 1. You have to. I shouldn't say.
Okay. I would agree later in the season. Okay, I got you.
Especially if Jimmy's, because if you would say, okay, if we're not going to win the Super Bowl, if you tell me it's not going to happen, what would be the number one objective for the team this year? Development of Trey Lance, and increasing Jimmy Garoppolo's trade value if possible. And I think that you can simultaneously do that. You can play Jimmy, hoping he's increasing his trade value while getting Trey the practice reps to develop, and then fine, around the trade deadline, you make that trade, fine, whatever. But I'm sorry, I just don't believe why I'm looking at y'all saying it's a Super Bowl bust or bust season. I don't believe Trey Lance in year one hasn't played football since October, and that was one game, is ready to take the Niners to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you can't. The only way, if with that scenario, unless Jimmy gets hurt, Trey doesn't get in. Because if Jimmy's playing decent, he doesn't get in. Again, but I mean, like I said, that's also a predicate.
So then,
Jimmy
so then let me give you
failing, or Trey looks that damn good.
So let's go. Let me ask this then. Okay, Jimmy's playing okay, like not bad enough to bench, but not good enough that you're not gonna, you think Trey's getting pretty close to ready where, hey, you know what, he might not be all the way there, but you give him a game or two, maybe put some training wheels on, and we can get him through you. What would it take at that scenario? Trade deadline. What would it take for you to be comfortable trading?
We're in the playoffs.
We're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. We're going. When's the trade deadline this year? I believe it's after week 9.
Something.
Here, let me look that up right now.
So say going into week 10.
Going into week 10.
Week 10, we're what? 6-6, or not 6-6? I can't. What? 6-4?
6-4. Jimmy's played okay. Somebody calls you with a 3rd round pick for Jimmy. You're making that trade and starting Trey and saying, "Hey, we'll take our lumps for a game or two." 3rd round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo
at week 10, and we're in playoff contention.
We're in playoff contention. You think Trey will be ready? Give or take. You think you can put some training wheels and get us through it?
Man, it's a ballsy move. I'd have to see. It all depends on what. I know that 3rd round. It is juicy, but why? But at the same time,
are you getting better?
Are you going to lose those 2 games? Now you're 6-6. You know what I mean? So it's like, what are you going to do? Looks like my man TJ's gone, so it's just me. But going with that, it all depends on how do you take those 2 losses. Say you end up winning or losing both those games. Then what do you do?
Hit the
welcome back.
Yeah, hit the refresh button.
Honestly, I think on that trade,
my bad about that, y'all.
You're 50-50. But if you push me to it,
gun to your head, Jason. 3rd round pick. Got 5 minutes to decide.
We're in playoff contention.
But we're not getting the one.
Jimmy lose us those 4. How many of those 4 games did Jimmy lose?
We'll say you got one where you would say it was a bad Jimmy throw that finally cost us.
So technically, only Jimmy cost us 1 game, and we're 6-4.
1 game. Yeah, we're 6-4.
No,
you're not making that for a 3rd round. What would it take? Would it take a 1st rounder?
No, but if you push it to a second. I'd probably jump it for a second. But I mean, there's a big increase in value from 2nd to 3rd.
The 3rd, yeah. Because I mean, let's be real. If
you're not only taking out. Go ahead.
If you got a 2nd round pick, you could easily package that 2nd round pick with another pick and move that into a 1st round pick.
Easy.
Yeah. So I mean,
the problem is my question is just taking Jimmy out the quarterback, because and everybody talks about Kittle's the leader and this and that. Jimmy is still one of the best leaders on this team. Not to say that Trey can't be or anything, but these guys will ride for Jimmy. And you've never heard a bad thing about him or his character or the way he leads. So, but you're taking that out as well. And that puts that responsibility on Trey. So you also have to add in that factor as well.
Exactly. This is the thing is that because let's be realistic. I think I'm going to tend to agree with you on I wouldn't want a 3rd. I would definitely I would fly him to the airport for a second because let's be real. If anybody's trading for Jimmy Garoppolo this year, they're probably a playoff team. You know,
Well, they got injured. Somebody got injured.
Yeah.
You know.
So if you're really thinking about it, if you're looking at second or third, it's probably going to be pretty late.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if it's a high third, I might do it for a high third. Like, let's say Fields gets hurt and Chicago, or let's say Dak gets hurt, you know, and the Cry Girls.
Dak's got a solid backup, though.
Oh, he does? No, good.
Yeah, he's got Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton went to Chicago.
Did he?
Yeah, Andy Dalton went to Chicago.
He's gonna. Oh, that's right. He did. That's right.
He's going to be their starter.
No.
Matt Nagy said he's going to be their starter.
No.
Bro, if Justin Fields doesn't come in and beat Andy Dalton in training camp, oh my God.
If they do, Nagy's an idiot. Yeah, it's that simple. Nagy's an idiot if he does that.
Hopefully, y'all could hear the sarcasm in my voice. I believe I believe Justin Fields should go out there and beat Andy Dalton. If Justin Fields can't beat Andy Dalton,
is Nick Foles still on the Bears then? I was thinking it was still Foles.
Let me check.
But now I'm curious who the backup is for Dak.
Nick
I was sure it was Dalton until you were like, "Yo," I'm like, "Oh, you are right."
No, Dalton went to Dalton.
Yeah, I remember it now.
Yeah,
you talked Nick Foles. I forgot about it.
Nick Foles is on Chicago.
Wow. So why wouldn't you?
Who's the backup?
I would rather have Foles than Dalton. To be honest,
you know what's funny? There's really no, I can't go on that website. No.
The Cowboys backup.
There's really a crygirls.com. I love it.
It's Garrett Gilbert. Who the hell is Garrett Gilbert?
I don't even know. Never heard of him.
Dude, that is about the most mundane.
Oh, we got a new follower.
Oh, who we got?
He's Alcazaro. Hold on, let me see. I'm really horrible with these, names.
Astra Pizarro?
So I don't. Yeah.
Sorry if we butcher your name, man. Or woman, we don't know.
Yeah, we apologize. Thank you for following. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Please, if you got Amazon Prime Gaming, Astro Prezano, I don't know. But thank you for the
Astrid Pizarro.
There you go. Thank you for the follow. We really appreciate it. Oh God, we're so horrible at this. I'm so glad it's the last show before training camp, bro.
Yeah, we don't have to do it. It's like it'll be so much better once we get fresh content.
I promise you. I promise you. All right. Well, Jason, before we get up out of here, because I really got to take a piss, let the people know how they can subscribe to Amazon Prime. Through Amazon.
DJ was saying earlier, if you have Amazon Prime, like most people do, there is a part of Amazon Prime that's called Amazon Gaming. And with that, you have one free sub to any Twitch streamer. All you have to do is connect your your Amazon account to your Twitch account, and you can sub for free. And like I said, like we always say, hey, go ahead and use it on us. You've probably already got Amazon Prime for all your deliveries. Just use it on us. Or if you want, there's always a regular way where you can pay. TJ, stop flexing with your tiny guns. But you can always pay. We'll always take that. But, if you already got Amazon Prime, just go ahead and use it on us. Thank you very much. It all goes to helping with the stream.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to, flex a little bit, make sure, I've been hitting the gym a little bit, trying to see my results. Yeah, so, we really hope this. Look, honestly, as this being the last show of the off season, we really appreciate all the support everybody's been giving us this off season and everything like that. And the streams haven't always been the best, especially when I do them solo bolo, but we really do appreciate everybody's support, and we promise we're going to have some dope things for y'all. in August and everything like that.
Hey,
For
now that
training
with my
camp and stuff like
schedule
that.
changed, I will be available more, especially on weekends.
Yeah, so we're gonna have some dope things coming for y'all and everything like that. So we appreciate that. Before we get up out of here, um, make sure you tune in after we do the read for the raid and the ads and all that. Or you know what, Jason, go ahead and run the ad right now.
Right, all right. Let me click on it.
Yeah, we'll
Boom.
and then I'll
There
do.
we go.
Okay, I'll do the read. Um, was there anything you needed to do post show, talk about or anything? Okay, cool. I'm just gonna
No, I'm
as soon
just
as we do the as soon as we get out of the video, I'm gonna exit this, put my laptop away. I gotta take a piss. Hopefully, I'll be able to come back and work on some t-shirt stuff. But I gotta, yeah. So as soon as we're done with all this, I'm gonna
what
jet.
was it? My schedule's
Next week,
5 to 12 now, so
okay. All right. August. Our next week,
20
I want to
seconds.
do our training camp battles.
Okay.
So we'll look at
Well,
camp
if we do,
battles.
that'll work since Tuesday's start event of training camp, and we do it on
I
training camp
figured,
day.
and we won't have quite
Five.
practice. Okay, yeah, 3,
Go.
2, 1. All right, thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure to go to twitch.com or twitch.tv/Niner Faithful Radio to join us for the live streams of all our shows. For the Faithful, by the Faithful, pre-launch sale is coming July 30th. Save 20% off of all our designs. Go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop for more details. Go to CheapGiant.com. Use the promo code NinerFaithfulRadio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as hop out the show. Get your officially licensed Niner gear from shop49ers.com by using our affiliate link. It costs you no more and really helps out the show. If you go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com or NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop, we have the throwback jerseys available. All you got to do is click on the ad. Any jersey you sell right then and there, we get a commission off of. Go to NinerFavoriteRadio.com to go check out the affiliate products as well as all the episodes of our show, and follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Niner Faithful Radio, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio, and Twitter at Niner Faithful R. Jason, go ahead and run the ad the raid so we
raid.
can get the hell up. The raid so we can get the
All
hell
right,
up
so
out of
we are
here.
today. We are in the Twitch program. So today we're going to raid a fellow program. His name is Spurter, and he does a lot of Japanese wrestling or indie wrestling in general. It looks like he's doing some old school wrestling right now. So we're going to raid them, and so stick around and watch them and interact with them. Have fun, everybody.
All right, we
Later.
good?
Oh. 3. Go ahead and run it.